Hi guys and welcome to Throzone.com. This is Mohit Soni. What is in front of you is the Volvo XC90. This is Volvo's flagship SUV, one of the few SUVs that came in the Indian market with a petrol and diesel and soon followed by a plug-in hybrid. Now the diesel is being entirely replaced with the petrol version, which is seen here in a mild hybrid format. It also received a subtle tweak when it comes to the interior and exterior, but not by a huge margin but by a very small margin. There's a bit of change in the bumper. The LED DRLs continue to look like Thor's hammer, and there is the large grille with the large logo. It's now synonymous with almost every European brand doing it. And coming to the side profile, very understated but very huge. It's got a lot of glass area, a lot of metal area. One of the few cars with a lot of glass to metal ratio which actually matches. Of course the doors are still bigger, but then again the glass area is also pretty big. What is also big is these large 28-inch wheels which look fantastic with this color right now. So this spec has been garnering a lot of attention on the road. It's a Volvo, so it will have Volvo styled tail lamps here, which are all LED units. This is the B, which signifies this is the petrol version. The diesel used to be the D, and this is also all-wheel drive. Since we are at the back, let's go in the boot, which is electronically operated, and with all the seats up, that's the kind of space you're getting, so that's really good. It's almost 300 liters, which is really impressive. You've got this table here, and you go down and you see the toolkit and the space saver tire. And I'll show you something. We go even lower there. That's the cylinder, air pressure cylinder for the air suspension that is on offer. These are the buttons that help you lower the car when you're loading some items inside it. And that's how you close it. It's illuminated and got a hook also. So pretty practical boot. I quickly want to show you what the kind of space you get at the back here. This is best left for kids. Of course there is some space here, but it's again adults. I tried sitting here. It was very knees up, but there was just about enough legroom, but that was also cramped. It's best for small children, and that's about it. That's how you tumble it from here. And you've got the isofix tether as well. That's the door pad. Unfortunately I can't lift it with one hand. I think it's quite heavy or it's locked somewhere. That's the door pad you get. Bowers and Wilkins button for the rear person to lock unlock the door, which is also really nice move, very luxurious move. Surprisingly these are still manual on the XC90, but great leather, great wood, great finishing. Everything feels very top notch at the back. Of course we are now going to sit inside and show you what is the kind of legroom you get with a 5-10 passenger at the front driver's seat. Very good knee room, very good foot room. Under thigh support is quite good. Headroom is generous, so that's fantastic. Because of that tall height, it delivers on that aspect. AC vents, digitally controlled. Nets, AC vent, hook, your separate light, and grab handle. The car is switched off. I'll go ahead and open the sunroof for you. And the third row also gets a cup holder, some space to keep some stuff over there. Yep, pretty nice place to be. Very airy cabin, quite clearly. Its size, its boxy design makes sure that it remains a true SUV, unlike its rivals, the Audi Q7, which is more of a crossover. That's how the car starts. Does the full sweep of controls, and yep, that's how it looks like. This also remains the same. The infotainment system also remains the same. Surprisingly, the lower variants that we've been driving, the XC60 and the XC40 Recharge, have a new infotainment system. This continues with the old one. So and we prefer this one because it looks really nice. It's a Volvo's own infotainment system. We've got drive mode here, which is impressive. All the ADAS features can be switched on and off very easily, very quickly, which is really impressive. You can adjust the passenger seat. Just click this and use the driver side buttons on the driver's seat below, and you can adjust it. So let me just show you. That will be easier for your parents, or if you want to adjust that for them. Click here like this, and as you can see, it works, and that is really convenient as well. It's got a particulate filter as well for the cabin, so there is air filter inside the car. The glove box button is here, so that's how it is. It's illuminated and pretty spacious. Again, the dashboard looks really impressive with this Bowers & Wilkins system that is on offer. This speaker is always a part of the Bowers & Wilkins setup in any car, which is really good. This is one of the best sound systems that you can get your hands on in a car. And coming back to the infotainment system, I told you it works really well. They had updated it from the original version, I remember. This new version is also working really well. 12-volt socket, wireless charging, quite slow. That can definitely use a faster setup here. These are, of course, the cup can holders, start stop button, auto hold, electric parking brake, a lovely looking crystallized gear lever here. Going inside, you can see there are charging points and good stuff, good space to keep a good amount of stuff. We press this button here. I don't know why it's not working, but yeah, this is for the cruise control, this is for your track, this is for the voice. Before you ask me, that's the big bad panoramic sunroof, lending in a lot of light inside the cabin. And as you can see, this button here gives you pilot assist, adaptive cruise control, and other things. There's volume controls here, along with the defoggers and the track change. Like I said, the sound system is amazing. The AC also works really well in our conditions, and it's been hot and cold at the same time. In the hot times, it's been serving us quite well. Cabin really well insulated from the outside world. No wind, no road noise comes inside the cabin. The traffic noise is also really well insulated. The engine noise is also bare minimum. Only when you're really gunning it, the motor makes some noise. And it's a really pleasant cabin to be. Everything just feels smooth, floaty, very comfortable on the inside, with these seats also being really supportive, and they've got ventilation and heat as well, so that's also a notable feature that we all Indians love nowadays. And yeah, you've got those buttons here for the boot, a small cubby area here, and that's it. We'll now jump to the driving part. Before we jump into the driving part, I want to let you know that this is how the infotainment system in the trip meter works. Once you press it like this, then you go through the media, the phone, the navigation, and that's the trip for today. And you can reset it via from here. That's the rear wash wiper screen. It has to be kept in between, so as you can see, both sides work, so you'll have to keep it in between to keep it off. There is, of course, automatic headlamps and wipers. The wipers have the jets within them, so you will not see any jets that are put on the hood or below it, because they're part of the wipers. So that's also a great and neat thing to have. Surprisingly, the steering adjust is still manual. We expect it to be electronic. I'm sure Volvo will get it right in the next upgrade. IRVM, which is completely frameless and automatic, of course, with heated mirrors and the mirrors that also have anti-glare as well. The rear child lock along with window lock is on offer. As you can see, it can show here. And yeah, that's it. Now let's jump to the driving part. So what is the Volvo XC90 like to drive? This is, of course, the 2-liter 4-cylinder motor, which sounds a little low on cylinders when it comes to the flagship model. But then again, Volvo had recently made these engines entirely from the scratch, so these are all new engines, and it still has a very fantastic configuration where the injectors sit at the absolute top of the cylinder, so that makes it instantly responsive, and that's what you feel here as well. We felt this in the previous cars that we've driven, and it's the same engine here, slightly making more power. This makes 300 PS and 420 Nm of torque. It's made it to an 8-speed icing gearbox, which also works really well in its favor. We appreciated it in the S60 and in the XC60 as well as in the XC90. The gearbox is good enough. Only it's in sport mode where it gets really jerky and it gets really excited. It doesn't hold on to the revs as you expect it to have. But then again, it offers quicker shifts, but in a very jerky manner. There is a possibility where you can have quicker shifts without the jerking of the gearbox, and I think Volvo can sort that easily. And what Volvo also offers are 4 driving modes. Only the XC90 offers that, the other cars don't right now, henceforth after the recent update in the Indian market. And there is eco, comfort, and driving mode. The eco mode dials down the power delivery quite well, and it feels really sedate. Comfort mode is absolutely a normal mode where everything works normally, and I explained to you what the sport mode is all about. There's also an off-road mode which raises the suspension dramatically up. It can go through a lot, and we actually went through a lot of bad roads because monsoon is here. We went through a certain couple of bad patches, and the XC90 just didn't even feel like it's going over really bad stuff. And the ground clearance goes quite high. Even in normal mode, it has 238 mm of ground clearance, which is impressive. And since we're on the chassis part, I like to tell you the fact that body roll is well contained. Steering has just about enough feedback. It's very light, very precise though, so parking this car is not a problem once you get the idea of the dimensions. And if you have that much space, parking this car will not be a problem because it's very easy to do so. Driving in the city also will not be a problem once you get used to the dimensions. And the brakes are good. Body roll, of course, it's there even in the sportiest mode. Body roll is still there. Sport mode also stiffens up the suspension, and what it also does is makes the engine heard a lot more inside the cabin, so it truly provides that sporty experience. Most of the time, since you will be driving in eco or normal mode, you will realize that the engine is very smooth, very refined, and there's hardly any noise inside the cabin. That's the really best part of the XC90 because it just aces the NVH levels like a complete pro. What it also does is provide excellent acceleration despite just 300 PS and 420 Newton meters from a car that weighs 2.8 tons. That is down to the mild hybrid system. You've got motors on the wheel, so that gives you that instant acceleration off the line. It just shoots ahead. It feels exciting when you're really going for it. So it's not a car that you will it will not feel exciting because it's a Volvo. No, it's not. It is quite exciting to drive even in our conditions. It's also exciting and comfortable at the same time because the ride quality is downright brilliant for our roads. Unintentionally or intentionally, the suspension feels so right on our roads. The XC90 just floats over most things. When I said in off-road mode we were going through some really bad patches, even on 20-inch wheels, the car just impressed us. It just went through everything so well, and the cabin was so insulated from the outside world and from the bad patches that we were going on. It was really surprising for all the passengers inside the cabin, including me as the driver. So a really impressive package Volvo has here. Of course, it still can't match the flagship vehicles from the German rivals when it comes to certain features because it doesn't have a lot of feel-good factor, a large list of features, because that's what people look as the feel-good factor. But of course, the feel-good factor is really high with this cabin. It's an extremely high-quality cabin. One thing that's also missing is a very small fuel tank of just 70 liters. All its rivals offer 80, 85, even 90 or even 100. So Volvo needs to up that as well because the fuel range is very less. It can do 350, 400 kilometers, but the rivals can easily do 600, 700 kilometers. So of course there is a plug-in hybrid that can boost it by another 150 kilometers. It can do 500, but that will be still less for a car of this size. It needs to do 600, 700 kilometers to the one single tank, and that's where Volvo also needs to get things right. And overall, it may not have all the features like its rivals, but it has that feel-good factor. The way it rides is fantastic. Ride quality is excellent. It's a very calming car to drive. At the same time, when you put it in sport mode, it can excite you. If you put it in off-road mode, it can go through a lot. So the capability aspect is there. There's no denying that the XC90 looks great on the outside and the inside. It's got that subtle but yet imposing stance that grabs attention. The XC90 definitely makes you stand out on the road because all the rivals have been are there on the road for ages, and the XC90 still stands out because of the limited run, because it did not sell as much as it should. You should definitely consider the XC90 if you're in the price bracket for a car. car which costs around a crore, and you want full flagship 7 seats plus boot, and you will never regret this decision. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure you like it, share it, subscribe to our channel please, and follow us on our website and social media for everyday updates. Until then, thank you so much and goodbye.